Hi everybody, it appears that I'm live, which is really cool. I want to just say hi and start to fill with the screens that I can and can't show you. Not so much as can and can't. As far as I know, I should be on here. There we go, my bad. So it causes less havoc. Showing you the live screen feed. Okay, so today we're going to be covering video number 5. Let me show you me first, so you know where we're at, and give you a bit of explanation. Firstly, probably I should warn you that these videos, even though I prepare a little bit of written text, and you'll see it in a minute, mostly it's kind of straight out of my head, my knowledge that's both in my courses or in my experience or in my skills. So it's important that you know that that if you needed more finer detail, or if I've just kind of made up a percentage, and I will sooner or later, while I'm doing these live screens, I don't want you to panic with that. There will be better, what's the word I'm looking for, better details and facts, both on the website and in my courses, even the free courses, all of which I'm going to go through with you in this video, okay? So yeah, that was like my disclaimer I need to tell you. But at the same time, this part of these are all still vital for the preparation of your business, okay? The video number 4 covered the research, and it's obviously the most important at all. And in fact, video 4.5, which doesn't exist, is you doing a very, very detailed business plan, which somewhere down the line I will actually refer you to somewhere where you can get a business plan done. I think I've got a course guy that I know. I have no idea. I don't remember. It's probably 2 years since I looked at it. But it was really, really thorough. And it's important that you know that you're going to be profitable. Look, the basics of business plan. If you're not kind of doing a business plan to take it to the bank, well, you would just kind of log all your costs and what your markup should be, and then do very, very careful calculations on what you make, how long it's going to take, and then the hidden costs, you know, time you spend sending emails, time you spend answering the phone. Build it all in. Too many times. I do it on websites all the time. It's a failing of mine. I work out that I can do that job in, pick a number, 6 hours, and then I cost it accordingly. In fact, I had it this week. And then over the weekend, I ended up doing another extra 6 hours for the client, which meant that effectively he got everything for half price. Now, he doesn't know that he got it for half price, but I lost 50% of the time, or double the time. I ended up taking twice as long to do something that I'd costed at a set figure. So, yeah, don't do it my way. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Plan it carefully. Okay, you probably don't really want to hear me talking or look at me for all this time, so let me switch. I've got to look over here, by the way, to this screen. Let me switch to, where am I switching to? To my desktop without me. Oh my goodness. My bad. I see now that I've been talking the whole time live to you, and I'm still on the original screen. This is really embarrassing and very typical of me. My bad. Well, at least now you can see me. Hi. I'm sorry that I had you for... where's the time elapsed? 4 minutes staring at my intro screen. Well, it is what it is, and sorry for that. And I was being so polite and looking so kind of, you know, attentive and stuff. Well, it is what it is. Okay, so now I'm going to change to the screen that I really was supposed to go to, and that's so that now I'll show you live what I'm planning to do from you. So now you're on my desktop. I'm going to scoot my chair a bit nearer so that I can read better. Okay, and let me start with what I've written down for you. Oh, so just back, Rob. This, as I said, is number 5. It's getting your initial products that you've researched, getting them made, and testing how popular they are. Are they going to be a bestseller or not? Are they going to kind of work? Okay, so you kind of turned your keyword research into physical products and gone out there very bravely into the world and said, hey guys, will this sell? Okay, So this is what I've written down for you, and I'm going to run through it fairly quickly because in truth, I've got this covered in my free courses, which I'll send you to in a minute. Well, actually in 30 minutes, but yeah, when I'm done here. And it's obvious that I'm going to cover this lightly in this. I mean, I don't want this to be a 3-hour video, and to do it properly, it would take that long. For example, what I didn't include in the research video, number 4, was using magazines to test your products, to see if they're out there, being advertised, etc. I probably told you to go to malls and and shops, stores to see. So it's that kind of depth that's not going to be covered in here, but in general enough for you to kind of know what we're in. Please do not judge my grammar and spelling. I not only don't really give a crap if it's bad, well, it's proof because I don't ever check it. So if you check it and it throws you completely, well, turn away from the screen and just listen to my voice. Thank you. No, seriously, I understand the grammar Nazis out there, those of you that are like that, it becomes an issue, and I have issues of other things. This one doesn't bother me, as you can hear. Okay, so number 1, you have completed your research. You will now have as many as 10 ideas or products that you've listed that you think, based on your keyword research, etc., that these are going to be products that there's already a demand for it, therefore, or ergo, it's going to sell. If I can make it in a cost-efficient method that it comes out with a high enough quality that people are happy to pay the price, you've got a winner. Simply because you started off with the fact that you've got the research has proven there's a demand for that, okay? So my comment on this is 10 is a good number, but it depends on what you're making. If your keyword research has turned into benches, you don't really want to make 10 benches and make 10 of each of those. So in the space of whatever length of time, you've got 100 benches. That's a really large capital outlay. So obviously this is dependent on whether it's big or small, grandfather clocks or earrings. Earrings, you really need more than 10, as samples 100. And when you test them on the market, you're going to need, more, at least 1,000. 5,000 would be better. Let's go into this in detail. So try not to have too few and try not to have a mixed niches. So don't have benches and earrings. People never understand what you're trying to do. So yeah. Okay. So too many will also just obviously take too long. So if you've come up with 10 ideas, but you want to do each in 10 different colors, initially I don't suggest you do that until you've gone through to number test the stores. So here I'm on number 10. Before you hit the craft markets, let's go there. Before you hit the craft markets with your ideas, don't make too many variations of colors and sizes and things. Make the perfect one that you can think of, and you carry on with it. Okay. So I've said here you would have done the business planning side, so you know that your original research on demand, coupled with the research of the 4.5 that I spoke about earlier, that video that doesn't exist, that your business plan, that these things aren't going to cost $100 to make, and you're likely only going to sell them for $80 if you're really lucky. And so the obvious. Okay, so I need to point out the obvious, my bad. Okay, so number 4, document everything. If you're going to start doing research, you must know every single tiny little bit of glue or string or wood or wire that's gone into that, and cost it correctly. You might think, it's only 3 cents of wire, but when you start to do 1,000 of them, it's a cost. Unless you know that it's more or less 3 cents and you add 5 cents, fine, but add that cost in. Don't and obviously calculate it correctly if it's an important cost, okay? And then it's time. Time is a huge factor. If it's going to take you a full day to make an item as opposed to an hour, well, huge difference. You can make 8 in a day, or you can only make 1 in a day. Issue, problem, costed in like that. And in fact, when you've done your research, you should have already taken that into consideration, that you're going to have an item that is huge. A grandfather clock is not going to be made. You cannot make 5 of them a day. Maybe you could actually, if you had a very, very efficient production line and helper, fetch, jump, carry, drop, take this there. You'd be exhausted. Try not to do that. Okay, so this is all obvious. Once you know those costs, by the way, you've made one or two. I actually made a joke here somewhere. Really, I did. Oh, there we go. I was right here. My bad. Preferably the second or third one. Your very first one is always going to take longer than your second because you've learned, oh, okay, you can't bend it that way or cut it that way, or it won't glue if you try that. Whatever it is, okay? So, yeah, that's what you're going to be doing into that. But you've got to take the nicest one. If your very first one is nicer than your second, that's cool. Remember, you're going to be selling them. They all got to be nice, yeah? Anyway, you will know your minimum time, your minimum cost. And in the future, once you start to get sort of more efficient, proficient at making it, so you can, you'll make better profits because it'll go faster, etc. By the way, it might pay you to cost in the wages that a person would cost you from day one if they were a staff member. If you'd employed somebody to do that, what would, at the minimum wage you're going to be paying them, let's not say minimum wage, at the wage that you'd pay them to make an item, if you cost that in as a cost, so not as a profit to you, as a pure salary cost, let's go there. So in other words, you'd actually be able to pay yourself a salary and take a profit too. It's worthwhile doing that. That all still comes back into the business planning side. To be very honest, there are people far more efficient at doing the maths, the costs, than I am. I know how to find what sells, how to make it look really cool, and most importantly, I know how to make people buy it, how to take it out there and sell more. And that's what this course is about. Sell more products. Yeah, get your phone ringing, orders, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so where are we? Streamlining number 5. Sorry, just a joke. I snuck it in. It might be wise to hide your first one. You know, the one that's a little bit skew. Okay, so once you've got a few decent samples, so you've got 10 items that you made, and you made 3 of each, one with a door on this side and one with a door on that side, whatever it is. But enough for you to go out there and say to start with your closest. They probably watched you make it, your direct family. You might even ask them to not look at you make it so that you can say, ta-da, what do you think? Because their faces and their expressions, and when they look down or away thinking, oh, crap, I'm going to have to tell him that thing is freaking ugly. Yeah. By the way, brace yourself and ask people to tell you the absolute truth. Here it comes. Make them tell the truth. Explain to them that they really have to tell you the truth, because if they say, oh, it's so beautiful, and then you make a huge pile of them, and in their heads they think, oh my goodness, he's gone ahead and made them. Yeah, take care. So please make notes, by the way, of everything people say, every nuance. Instant reaction was eyes wide open with a huge smile, reaching forward to touch it. All of those prove that it's, but if they give it a glance and say, it's fine, and look out the window, be nervous and make a note. They weren't really interested. Fair enough. Showing an owl box to your 7-year-old child is not likely to get them excited. So obviously you've got to take that kind of thing into consideration. Okay, so now you go wider. Find your neighbors, your local hairdresser. Literally take a box load of your stuff and go walk about. Go and see what people and test it, okay? If, for example, it is crafty, go to crafty type people and see. Because before you make something, you need to know that it's going to work. Okay, now we get to the really terrifying one. Once you kind of know that you're probably onto a good thing, okay? Because everybody said, by the way, if you get negative feedback here, well, you know the obvious. Don't make them purple anymore. Go back and make them out of wood. Don't make them out of raw aluminium. Go back and make it out of brushed steel. Whatever it is, change it so that the people, when you go back to your first level again, they say, ah, that's better. Now it doesn't scare me, or it's not going to scratch me, or wow, that's beautiful. That's shiny. That's not shiny. You've got to do the changes until you're kind of pretty certain that you're onto a winner. Then you go to what I've called step 9. Of course, it's not step 9. You take it off to a store that might buy from you. Now, I've said this here very, very, it's so valid. Please be professional. And you're going to have to kind of be careful as to how you'd have to plan it. I once went with my style, which has been open and friendly, with my mother to a place when we were doing screen printing. Wow, 15 years ago. No, far more, 25, 20, I don't even know, back then. Probably 25 years ago. My goodness, I'm old. Oh, sorry, but I am. Okay, so yeah, my mother and I went into this, it was a pizza shop, and we were doing screen printing. We said, excuse me, who's the owner? And he came over and he said, how can I help you? And you could see he wasn't really interested. And we said, we do screen printing. We've just bought a screen printer, and we would like to find out if you need printed t-shirts, and we want to quote you. And he laughed, and he was so rude to me, and he hit me with something along the lines of, why don't you and your mommy go home, and do your little home business there? And I was so angry because of the snarky thing he did to us. And I realized that part of it was because we approached him far too casually, as a walk-in, probably with t-shirts on and whatever ourselves, without stressing to him that, this is a business thing. No doubt he had t-shirts printed from somebody, one of his buddies later. Look, he was a cheeky, cocky human being, and my punishment to him was to never buy his pizzas, but he's still there, I think, 25 years later. So yeah, I think he was the winner in that one. Bottom line is, be professional, set an appointment, tell them that you've got a new range of products. You want them to just, you trust their opinion, and that you feel that they are exactly the sort of feedback you can get from potential store outlets, but you know that they've kind of got the exact right stuff in their shop, blah, blah, blah. Can we set up an appointment where I can pop in and show you my range? You needn't be, I could still have got away with my casual, friendly nature, but it needed to be a professional business appointment, a meeting set up where you bring samples, etc., and there'll be less of this like where they think in their heads, oh, cool, I'm going to get something really cheap out of these people. So the best is to tell them it's a range you're considering introducing. No lies. You don't have to lie. And that you just want to get feedback. You're not here to get any orders. In fact, that you can't accept orders for now. If he says, hey, please, please, please. By the way, with the same screen printing business, just to tell you that it did work out, I went away and we made samples of bags and things for, we're in South Africa. You might have noticed that I've got a really cool accent. No, I really have. You guys have all got strange accents. Anyway, we produced this really cool range of eventually 40 products. Exactly what I'm telling you now that you need to do. And my very first store I walked into at a very, very upmarket shopping center, a curio shop for African curios. As I started to take them out of the bag to show her, the woman's face lit up. Her eyes got huge and I panicked. I thought, crap, she's going to call security and throw me out of here. And she started to say, without having a clue my price, she literally said, stop, I'll take 5 of those. I need 10 of those. And I was in shock after that she was literally gushing with how cool I had made something that was perfect for her store. Means that I had done my research correctly, and it was fantastic. So how you come across, it's important. Now, I've said this, and it's very real. Depending on what you're making, some stuff there's not likely to be, laughed out of the building. But brace yourself. There's potentially that they're going to be very critical. Oh, it's very crafty. It's very handmade. It's not professional. It's too pink. It's too pink. It's too kind of, what's all that glue I can see there? Oh, your stitching is wobbly. Whatever it is, be prepared and take that criticism from where it comes. These guys don't care about your feelings. They do care that you will bring them a good product at a good price. I bet you they would do that without even looking at price. They'll argue about that later. It's their business. They have to be. Okay, so now we get to number 10. Once you're fairly sure that they will sell. Okay, so now this is cool. So now all your tests have gone positive. You might have made changes. You might have tested it. You might have kind of done things that you need to do to to make sure that they now are, everybody's said, yeah, oh wow, yeah, I'd buy that, oh that's cool, hey, can I order one now? Or yes, take orders with pleasure, of course. You can start to get some money back. But it's now, technically speaking, you're in business. And there's one massive test you've got to make, and that is, will they actually sell? So far, people have said, oh, that's lovely, I'll buy them. Oh, those are beautiful. Oh, John would love this. Whatever it is, sure. But are they going to actually put their hand in their pocket and give you money? Okay, so now what you've got to do is plan a craft market. Okay? So book it and do it right. Okay? So now here's the catch. You have to make a lot of stock. Now, I understand that sometimes you're starting a business on a shoestring budget, blah, 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 all of that. But in truth, if you're going to judge yourself and your business on taking 10 of a little thing and putting them in the middle of your table with 2 pot plants on either side, they're not going to sell. People might say, oh, those are lovely, and then walk on, without even once taking their hands out their pockets. You're never going to know if they really, really will sell, okay? And I'll put you a huge fact. And listen to what I say on the video here. This is me saying it now. So when you take it to the craft market, there's a ton of stuff you've got to do right, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. But the most important fact by far is to take 1,000 of them and instead of 100, if you can. Okay? And let me tell you 2 stories that are real. Okay? So, and I found this many, many, many times in the years I was on the markets, right? But I want to tell you 2. I went to a market in a local town, a very poor town. And I took what I call hooligan jewelry. It's, in other words, yin yangs and things that kind of, go for the teenage market. Anyway, on day 1, in fact, it was a marijuana leaf, a weed leaf in a circle. It was a pendant around the neck, okay? And we had, I don't know, 10 of them, and they all sold on day 1. So overnight, I went to my supplier, and he lived close enough to me, and I've got no idea on the exact numbers, but I bought a lot more, say 30. For me, it was like a lot, And the next day, they sold out almost kind of instantly. So I realized, okay, whoa. And so overnight, it was a 5-day show or something, by the way. Overnight, I went back to my supplier, and I said, I need lots. And I went back with something like 150, and you won't believe it, most of them sold. And by the way, in the end, I had quite a few left over at the end of the show because I'd now bought bigger. And yeah, I kind of was stuck with those extra 100 of them for the next 3 weeks. But the point is that the more I had, the more they sold. Okay, now here's another very, very good example. When I used to make my hammock chairs, I'll show you a picture of it as quick and easy. I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. That hammock chair. And they're big and expensive to make, well, relatively, but you can't just kind of slap 10 of them together in a day. So when I used to make those hammock chairs, if I went to a market with only 30 of them and packed them all out, I used to try and make them look like lots because I'd learned this lesson. If I was lucky, I would sell 5, but I had 30, right? If I took 100 of them to the same market, same crowd, same people, regular weekend market, I would sell 30. I'd take 100 and sell 30. I'd take 30 and sell 5. Now, why couldn't I have sold 30 on the day I took 30? So it doesn't make logical sense to me, but people want to see a mountain of them. I've got another quick story. This, you need to know this. I'm harping on it. By the way, down the line, I'm going to be telling you these stories again and again. Sorry. But it's so important. I cannot stress it enough. On the Facebook groups all the time, people come on and say, I've been on the markets now for 6 months and I barely cover my costs. And I can tell you now, their stalls, their display looks very pretty. But that's it. They're kind of copying what they see. They are doing it like they think it would be in a store, in a jewelry store or whatever. And instead, they need to squash it full. It must be a craft market, a flea market. People must think that there's so many to choose from. So if you make pendants, don't hang one pendant on a neck display and another on another neck display so you can only fit 10 on your table. No. Put it on an upright board that is 2 meters high and hang 2,000 of them up. people must have to scratch through them to find that one that they, oh, this is the one I want. Okay, and you can even, sorry, now on the negative, I know that half of you are going, Rob, my product is a luxury item. It's not whatever you want to call it, the bargain bin effect. Yeah, sure. So if that's the case, then spread your luxury ones out. Test this for me, please. I'd love you to test this. Spread your luxury ones out that they're more visible, still on the display, and put a sign up there that says luxury ones. Highest quality, whatever. Give it a brand. Look that the people look at it and realize those are going to be expensive ones. Now, the cool part is that half the people will want to pay more. They don't want the cheap rubbish because they can afford it. For them, it's an image thing, you know, an Apple product thing. So off they go, and they're going to pay the triple the price that for those things. But if you haven't made or don't have any cheaper ones, make them. Because I can tell you now that it's going to comprise of 80% of your turnover. Most people are going to a craft market to buy a cheaper craft item. My hammocks were an exact proof of that. They come along and say to me, how much is this? And I tell them the price, and they say, oh, for one. And they really mean it, because they were expecting a bargain. Now, when I put them in a shopping center, they walk in and say, these are stunning. And they ask the price, and they say, oh, okay. Now, whether they're thinking in their heads, oh, for one, they don't say it, because they expect it to be more expensive in a mall than on a craft market. So if your products are really, really fancy and they are grandfather clocks, it's a little bit harder to test on a craft market. Then you're really there to pay just to have people say, oh, I wish I could afford this. And then you know when you go and put them online, they will sell. So I hope I'm making sense with that. So this is very, very much about what your product is. By the way, if I'm making sense here and now I'm giving you doubt, oh, now how do I test my product? Will my product, you know what? I've got on Facebook group called Things to Make and Sell. I think it's called that online. The links are here. The links are everywhere. Let's see if the link is here. How to get Things to Make and Sell online, maybe? No. My services, free training. Oh my goodness, maybe it's not here. You're going to have to contact me or make me put the link in here. But anyway, it's Facebook, Things to Make Online. You can join up with that. Hell, it's everywhere else. So sooner or later, you're going to find it. Let me go back to here. And on there, you can actually say to me, Rob, thank you. I watched your video number 5, and I make dog jackets. And how many should I take to a market? Should I, and I'm going to tell you, this is so cool, take 5 dogs. Pile all the cheaper ones up on the floor. No jokes, on a blanket on the floor. Pile the expensive ones up on racks that are color coordinated, like you do in a bathroom, a decorator bathroom. I mean, a wooden rack thing that puts the 5 blue ones, 5 pink, 5 red, and then large, medium, small. So, and by the way, the obvious market stuff, I'm not going into that now, flea market stuff. Don't block your stall off with a table in the front, your chairs at the back, so you can sit there with your arms folded, giving them a look like, are you here to disturb me? No, 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 no. There are thousands of ways to make your sales 100 times better. I don't want to tell you how many. Make it a U shape, let them walk in, don't trap them, don't be inside, let them go in first, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to cover all of that now. But the biggest one, I haven't stopped thinking about this in my head, a lot of stock. Take so much stock that you need to hire 3 trailers and a bus to go there. And then you will see that people go mad for this, and the blue ones outsold the red ones by 30 to 1. But if you've only got 1 blue one and 1 red one, how are you going to know when they're both sold which one would have sold more? Yeah, so yeah, please, 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 people. Okay, so yeah, I sort of started to rant about this. Do the market properly. I used to cry once I became experienced. In the beginning, I was that guy, you know. Go along and put my 3 things on the table and a beautiful tablecloth. And I'd forget to take a notebook and a pen. I'd forget to take lunch and no water. You know, the normal stuff that you do as a beginner. But once I got the hang of it, and other than I was always late, Please don't do that either. I was very, very good at being the last guy to set up. In fact, I was famous for it. Right across the country, they're like, "Oh, Rob's here," and everybody gave me an all-round clap. It was funny, but yeah, a little embarrassing, and yeah, no excuses. So once I was good, I used to sit at the markets and watch people pitch up and set out their stuff. Yeah, lovely. And once all of that was done, I'll then watch them look sadder and more sad and saddest and sadly as the day wore on, and their hope and their light faded in their eyes. And I would eventually go over and say, let me see what you got. Most of the time I already did that in the morning, so yeah. Because I love helping people, and pretty soon I tell them, look, stop. What you've done here is wrong. You're on a table. This is a demo product. You need to be making these while they're watching, or you should have put up a blue sheet, or you should have brought a floozy with a low cut top. I don't know, you know, depends on the product. But when I see all of that, oh, it may just make me cry. So yeah, most important, take a lot of stock, and you'll still be able to muscle your way through that learning curve. Okay, right. So, have you been making notes all along? Not now. You can watch the video again. I mean, with your notes on what sold, what didn't sell, what broke easily, what transported badly, what went rotten. I don't know, you know, whatever you've been making, make notes. Okay, so sit down, do a chart, compare your profits, your length of time it takes to make. This research in the beginning. So what was popular, what your friends liked and didn't like, what sold fast, what sold better in different colors. I've even said, yeah, maybe do a point system. You get 10 points if it was popular, 10 points for profitability, but 3 points if it's hard to transport, because that you can overcome. If it's selling well and you're battling to transport it well, overcome the transport problem and sell more. Okay. But anyway, so now you're going to come out of this at this point with a perfect business if you've done it right. In other words, you did your research, keyword research, product research, magazine research, store research. You bought all my courses, on how to research. You don't need to, but you can. On how to research your product properly. You did all of that. You've done all your making and your testing. And by the way, you can test it on a single weekend, or you can go slower and make stock and test and run the markets for an entire year before you go online. I don't suggest you do that. Once you've had a successful weekend, you know what? You've got a successful product. Start to build your online side immediately. And here's why. Your online side will eventually be 10 times your turnover. 100 times, 500 times your turnover? Probably. But it takes from X to 6 months to get your traction going, where your online side is pouring your buyers in. So the sooner you start working on it, the better. But the bottom line is, at this point, you've got a profitable product. You've got a real business. Now it's simply just keep making, keep selling. Don't fiddle with the ones that work, and then start to do more. That's where I put this will be an ongoing process. So you will develop new variations. Once you've learned what works, you go back and do new keyword research and target a slightly different market. The LGB, I don't even know how to say it. Target old people, target young people, target Instagram people. So can you see, once you get the hang of what's working and not working, you can start to do different variations. If you're making a big thing like a bench, you can start looking at a flat pack version, so that it'll be easier to post. Recently, I looked at a very, very successful drop shipping system where you would be in the furniture business, children's furniture, and they were openly asking for agents, and you were getting like a 50% wholesale price, and their whole system was flat pack, so it meant that it could post anywhere. It was an American USA company, so you could go onto Amazon, put it up into FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, as your product. You could rebrand it, change it so that all yours are purple. No, don't do that, but yeah, and literally have a successful business without even making anything. So yeah, but the point was that flat pack was a clever thing. So your ongoing test will be that your feedback from the live markets, is huge. So as you test, you feed them into the system. As you test and you change them bigger, smaller, and if it fails, look very carefully why. And it might just be because of a big sport weekend, or the fact that it snowed and nobody came out after dark, or there's a thing you on a night market and it shows better in the day, whatever it is. Okay, so you make notes, be sure. So here's a last PS. Is it my last comment? Yes, it is. Just something that you will be very sorry you didn't do 6 months down the line. Every single time you get a sale, if the client's friendly and things, say, oh, please, can I just get a photo? Can I post you I want to put you on Facebook. I want to say, yay, really cool weekend. John loved my Linda, really thought my pet blank dog jackets were cool, whatever it is, yeah? Because later on you can build all of those photos, reviews into content that you can repurpose as happy customers down the line. A happy customer as a review is such a powerful sales thing, especially online, where other people can't, can't make up their minds like that. On a craft market, a flea market, or in a booth, in a mall, it doesn't matter where. If people are walking around with your product, and they, now you're at a craft market, and you pass a guy and look, he's got wow, look at that, he's got a very weird-looking dog blanket. And 5 minutes later, hey, there's another dog blanket. You know what? After a while, you're going to be on the lookout for the store where those picnic blankets are, those dog blankets, those hoodies, those denim jackets made out of Disney pants, those I've got no idea, made out of jeans, old pairs of pants. So that works on a market. In other words, it's contagious. Now, to make it online contagious, it's a little bit harder. So there you need the pictures, and that shows somebody holding up their picnic blanket, and they're so pleased themselves. And people think, look, safe to buy. That lady was happy. Okay, cool. I've used up so far 37 minutes of your life, so there's a fair chance that I'm probably done. At least I am with this. So let me see what I need to do here to get all of this sorted properly for you. I've got a feeling, let me just switch over so you can see me. I've got a feeling that whether we're done, I need to repeat the research of what products you're going to choose to start making, then the testing of it and getting it so that you've got a proven product. It's everything to getting your business going, because thereafter, it's simply just a matter of fine-tuning your marketing. So your craft marketing, take more, make a bigger stall, hire more people, hire agents that take a full set of your products out to other craft markets that, well, are far away, yeah? So I used to do that when I used to make toy parachutes. I had wholesalers and other people. I used to drop off people, I think 5 agents. They were just staff. They worked for me. They weren't agents. Wholesale agents. But I used to literally drop 5. They were just teenage kids because they could throw parachutes, little toy parachutes. Most of them. A couple of them read books and didn't sell. Hi, Garrett. So, I'm not bad. I really should have done that. Okay, so, but those kind of things will only be, and then your online marketing, all of that will be after you have a successful product. So, once you know you can make money, your craft markets will probably sustain you already. And thereafter, it's just a matter of making your online stuff work better. And the next videos will kind of cover most of that. And if anything, the only gremlin to that is some products don't lend themselves to online sales and others do. But that you'd have to kind of run through the system or come onto my Facebook group, the Things to Make and Sell, and ask me and say, Rob, I make dumbbells, but they're really cool. They are lightweight and 1 million alloys. I guess you wouldn't want to do that. And therefore, but mind you, those probably will sell online. You just have a problem with shipping because it's, well, a heavy product. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I'd be able to advise you on, item by item or product by product on the group. And I'll be very honest, if I have no idea, well, I'll just tell you. And you know what? I'll probably go and do a bit of research for you and put it into a video and post it on the Facebook group. Okay, so cool. Thank you. I'm happy to have made this for you. Let me just make this all go away. and tell you that may the forces be with you. Is it the odds be forever in your favor? May your karma, yeah, all of that. And thank you for your time. I'm going to stop recording and post this video everywhere, so you're going to find it in your life every single day until your sales are sky high. Thanks everybody. Take care. Cheers.